Hi guys, I'm doing something right now, but I wanted to talk, so I'm gonna talk while I do it. And this is so Monster High coded. Oh my god, I'm so Draculaura. Like a picnic Draculaura look. It's kind of more like, not Draculaura, it's kind of like, I forgot the name of the Phantom of the Opera girl, which, because she's more rockabilly and this is more rockabilly, but anyways, I want to talk about something, and I wanted to correct yesterday's video, which I talked about June parties, and I made some mistakes, and I also left a lot of information out, but today I'm going to talk about something even cooler, which is Castelo Rá-Tim-Bum. It is a show that aired on the TV channel called TV Cultura, which translates to Culture TV. And the show itself translates to Rá-Tim-Bum Castle. Rá-Tim-Bum is it's like abracadabra. It's just a word that doesn't mean anything, but it's kind of like a spell, but it doesn't mean anything. So the show was about the castle and the protagonist, Nino. Nino was the nephew of Morgana and Victor Stradivarius, which were wizards. And oh my god, I wanted to be Morgana when I was a child so bad. She was so cool. And he was like an apprentice. He was at their place to learn magic because he was a child, played by an adult actor, kind of like El Chavo de Oito. I don't know how you say outside of Brazil. In Brazil, it's just Chaves. But I'm trying to find their picture. There were many characters, and I loved a character in particular that I'm gonna talk about, but it's like too many. It's too many characters, and at the time it didn't feel like so many characters, but there are actually so many characters. And it was an educational show, which had too many characters because each character did something to educate the viewer. And there were many magical creatures and animals, talking animals. Most of the animals were just people dressed up, and it was uncanny, but at the time it was like, wow, this is so cool. It wasn't so uncanny for us, but there were so many characters. There was a alien called Etevaldo, which I thought was the football player Ronaldinho Gaúcho. He looked like, oh my god, he looked exactly like Ronaldinho Gaúcho from outer space. And I've always thought it was him playing that character, and apparently it was not. There was also a character, I don't remember the name of that character, but it was an evil guy. He was bald. It was Doutor Abobrinha, which translates to Dr. Squash? Like Dr. Cucumber or something. Abobrinha is not a cucumber, but anyways. He was bald and he had glasses, and my whole childhood I spent being afraid of bald guy with glasses. And there was a guy that sometimes went to my kindergarten to entertain the children. He was I think an entertainer. I don't know, he was fun and everyone loved him, and I remember liking him a lot, but I don't know, one day a key just turned in my head and I thought it was Dr. Squash and I was so afraid of him. There was a pair of twins called Tibio and Peronio, which were not twins at all, but they were twins. And they taught the viewer about science. And if you think this is all so confusing, the way the show worked is it was like there was the castle and Nino and his three friends were always over to this castle. It was Zequinha, the little child, really spoiled, really annoying. No one liked Zequinha. He was so oh my god. Biba, the teenager girl, she was kind, she was smart, she was the most mature of the friends. And there was the other friend that I don't really remember the name, but it was like the middle ground. He was, I think, a preteen, and they were always at his place. And Nino was a very strange, peculiar child, because I think he didn't interact much with normal people outside of his magical family, so he was kind of a little spoiled, a little stupid, and he didn't know a bunch of things. So whenever they went there, he showed his magical castle and the kids taught him normal stuff. And in between those scenes, and obviously there would be some conflict sometimes, something happened in another place, or they would open up a little music box, and inside that music box there would be another educational section from the show. So like the little robot mouse they had, sometimes they would turn this little robot mouse and let it run, and it would enter a hole in the wall, and that hole in the wall initiated the everyone's favorite section of the show, which was I don't know the name, but it was a showering mouse. It was just a showering rat that lived on the walls, and whenever the little rat entered the walls, it was just play this music where the rat was taking a shower, and it would describe every single part of your body that you should wash in a bath. And it was made to educate children, for them to learn to shower alone. And it would describe like behind your ears, both of your feet, your left feet, your right feet, and the pee hole. I've always hated that he said the pee hole. Pee maker, actually. He said pee maker. And I didn't like that, but there isn't actually a better way to describe that part to a child, so pee maker it is. There was and then after the shower he would say it's not over yet, and the bathtub would turn into a towel because it was all claymation. The section was all claymation. I forgot to talk about that, but it was claymation. And the bathtub would turn into a towel, and he would snug into the towel and kind of like show how you should dry yourself too. And then he would say, showering is so good. And that would teach children to shower. And it was so cool. And I needed that when I was a child. I did not like showering at all. I was stinky. I was extremely stinky. And yeah, it was so fun. I think it was everyone's favorite part, and it's the part that everyone remembers first, so definitely. No one could forget that part, actually. It was so cool. The little song that played was so sweet, it was. And the mouse, I don't know who played the mouse, but his voice was also kind of funny. But anyways, there were actually two monsters that lived in the house, and they were always planning to make everything dirty, I guess. One looked like Smeagol, kind of. It actually kind of looked like Dobby from Harry Potter. It was really weird and fucked up, but it was kind of silly. And the other one scared the fuck out of me. It wasn't even scary, but oh my god, it scared me so much. Like, the most scary one didn't scare me at all. I thought it was so sweet and cute, but the other one scared me so much. Okay, this one is the one that scared me. He scared me so much. And he was called Mao, like evil. His name was Evil. He was scary as fuck. And the other one, let me find a picture of him. That's the other one. The one I thought it was cute as fuck when I was a child. His name is Godofredo. How would I think he's evil? The other one is called Evil. This one is just silly and he doesn't have teeth. He's just a poor guy. I think he's a rat or a mutated rat from the sewers. I don't know, but they lived in the sewers and they were always planning to dirty up the whole castle or something and explode the whole thing over. I don't know. There was so many characters that are not in this list, but I'm gonna show you my favorite right now. There was a character called Penelope, and people called her Penelope Cor-de-Rosa, like Pink Penelope, and she was just a news anchor. She was so fun. She was so fun, and she wore all pink. I wanted to be like her. She had this ugly pink bob and she wore all pink, and I loved her so much. She was iconic, and she was a news anchor, you know. I love her so much. She was so sweet and so nice. She was sassy, like she was, but I love her so much. There was two fairies too. There was a snake. There was a talking snake, and she was wise, and you know, she was called Celeste. Let me. Yeah, I found her. She was like this. She lives in this tree stump in the center of the living hall in the castle, and she was just a wise snake. And she talked like this, and it was actually a guy who voiced her. There were two talking fish. There were the scientists. There was a cat talking also. And he was ugly as fuck. He was so damn ugly. And he was just called Gato. He was just called Cat. There was a figure from the Brazilian folklore also, which is Caipora. If you don't know, Caipora is a spirit of the forest that protects the trees and the plants. There's her parallel, which is Curupira, which is also a spirit of the forest that protects the animals. And Caipora is both of those folkloric figures are derived from the indigenous Brazilian, you know, the natives. And Caipora is a tall woman who, from what I heard, hurts or kills the people who hurt the trees and cut down trees, you know, especially in the Amazon forest. And she is playful and devious, but she's not like evil. She only hurts you if you hurt the trees and if you cut down trees and harms nature in some form. The same goes for Kurupira, although Kurupira is more devious. And he's not in the show, I just wanted to talk about him because he's kind of like her parallel. Kurupira is a little devil. He's actually a little devil. And it's like a little imp. He's more like an imp. He has backwards feet to confuse the hunters. And he protects the animals from the forest, also by harming the hunters in some iterations. He rides in a wild boar, and that's mostly it. You can easily stay away from these creatures if you just do not hurt the trees and the animals, but it's really fun that there's stuff like that, and it's really cool that she's in the show. Brazilian shows were always, having some form of folkloric creature. There was a show called Sítio do Pica-Pau Amarelo. Yellow Woodpeckers Farm. And ow! Oh my god. And there was a character called Cuca. I don't know if the Cuca is actually a folkloric creature, but I think it is. It was just a woman crocodile thing. It was a huge crocodile with hair, and she did magic, and she wanted to hurt, and possibly eat the children. I don't know, but she was evil. But everyone loves her. Yeah, she is a folkloric creature. Now that I remember. Yeah, obviously I'm stupid. But anyways, in the castle there were so many things. There was this Telekid. I don't remember him so much. Telekid. Oh, oh my god, I loved him. How did I not remember him? He looked like this, and he answered some random questions. Like, he just gave out random information, like, why does chicken lay eggs? Oh, this is the alien. Oh my god. This is the alien. I actually thought it was Ronaldinho Gaúcho. Sorry, Ronaldinho. He was very different. There was many other characters. There were the singing birds that were also people, and they lived, I don't know where, but they would teach children about music instruments. Oh, the guy that I didn't like, Dr. Squash or whatever, he wanted to steal the castle somehow. I think he wanted to perform some sort of fraud and steal the castle or something. He was weird as fuck. And he was devious. He was evil as fuck. There were so many characters, but I'm not remembering them right now. The birds were weird. And yeah. Now, the door had a robot also. So yeah, many different things and cool stuff. Are those all of the cast members? Jesus. I don't know, what is this? There's too many people in the show. There's so many things. But yeah, it was very fun. Very, very fun. If anyone had the whole series and wanted to like translate for people around the world to watch it, it would be so cool. I would do that actually. Would you guys want to watch Castelo Rá the best show ever. That was so random and like looked straight out of a dream. I would translate it for you guys if I learn how to make translations. Like, I could translate them, but I don't know how to actually edit videos, put on translation stuff. It doesn't look hard, but you never know. But yeah, that's it. I hope you liked this video. I wanted to, be more informative about those things, but it's, So yeah, I guess. Bye.